Welcome everybody to A Dad, a Son, and a Game.
Yes, welcome. This is our special Spooktober extravaganza. That means that we're looking at a Halloween type game. Anyway, we're going to take a look at A Touch of Evil. It's a little lesser known horror game than some of the other ones out there. And let you know what we think about it. So this is the part where we have to say farewell for 11 seconds while our intro plays. I think it's only 5.8 seconds. Anyway, farewell. We'll miss you. So this is A Touch of Evil in our echoey dining room. I know our audio is not near as good when we do it up here. But this game is kind of big to set up. And we have a game that's kind of 2/3 played out. So here's what happens in this game is that you have different phases and turns. So the first thing that you do is you have a hero turn, and you roll a d6, and that came up with a 6. So you're allowed to basically move 6 spots. So we're going to move this guy 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then each spot has a description on it of what would happen when you go there. Some of them say to draw event cards. Some of them say draw the cards that are specifically named after the spot you're at. They call those the corner locations. And after everybody does their move and turn, then there is a villain turn. And that's when you draw a mystery card, and it tells you to do something also. So the cards really do drive this game. So let's take a look at a few of the cards and just kind of like give you a feel for what happens with those cards. Here's an event, and it would say, plays in action immediately, gain D3 investigation. So D3 means a 3-sided die, so basically you divide a 6-sided die in half. So I rolled a 3, I would get 1.5, or 2 investigations. An investigation is basically the currency in the game. So you keep going around the board trying to gain investigation, and you use those to buy items. So here's an example of a pistol that comes from the town items deck. And it costs 5. The 5 is the number of investigation you'd have to pay to get that pistol, which gives you +1 combat. The game is essentially go around the board, and the setting is kind of like a colonial almost town, and you go around and you have to bust up one of the villains. Our villain we're playing with, this one is the Spectral Horseman, and he has different powers than the other ones do. He comes out and does some just random stuff. Causes muck and chaos, and basically what's going to happen is this indicator is going to keep going down, and if it gets to 0 ever, well then the town like basically is done, it's toast. But as it goes down, the bad guy gets tougher, but it also gets cheaper for us to buy lair cards, and lair cards are critical for having a final showdown with the boss man. So you keep buying lair cards, items, gear, buff your superhero to have a final showdown with the baddie at the end. And basically, this game is a feel of, it feels a little like Arkham Horror, but it's much lighter, much more compact. So even though this board is taking up a big chunk of our table, it is about 1/4 the size of the Arkham Horror board. And we have a lot of fun playing this. We play it Mystery Science Theater 3000 style because, I'm going to see if the camera will focus on this. Yeah, this is what the art looks like in this game, which is what it's talked about the most in this game probably. It is really bad art. So we kind of just Mystery Science Theater 3000 it. So, you know, like, you look through the directions and the art is just bad. This guy's like, I'm a vampire with a bad case of hiccups. I don't know, and just stupid stuff like that. So, I mean, books make me think deeply and stand by a clock. I don't know. It's just, if you can play it with a little bit of silliness to you, too, the art isn't so bad. I mean, I think probably the people who made the art weren't taking themselves too horribly seriously either. How could you with those teeth on that vampire? Anyway, it's a decent little horror type game that's not too intense, and it's just goofy. Same company that made Last Night on Earth, and the art play and the card layouts and things like that are really similar, but the gameplay is very different. So, did I miss anything, Luke?
I don't think so.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a how to play video, but this is, I mean, hopefully you get an idea of what the game's about. All right, so that's not how you play the game. That's not even remotely close to how you play the game. And if you want a gameplay walkthrough, I'm sure there's one up on Board Game Geek or something somewhere. But hopefully you got a feel or a vibe for what happens in the game. So with that, we will now tell you what we think of the game.
For components, the art looks a little bit goofy. But we kind of had some fun with it, and
you're
it wasn't
being really nice right now. But anyway, go ahead.
The art kind of actually looks a lot goofy.
Yeah.
But we had some fun with the art, and it wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Next is fun. It's a really fun game because there's that little bit of role-playing, but it isn't overdone in role-playing. It isn't like screaming across the table at people.
Yeah, I don't know that people scream that much in role-playing, but I know what you mean. It's like a role-play light almost. This game would be no fun if you just played the mechanics of it. Like, but you role-play a little bit, you're like, I'm Carl, the soldier who isn't so smart. I don't know. So, yeah.
Yeah, family, I wouldn't recommend it for little kids, but if you have some kids in the family who have played, like, kind of horror games, like, it's intense, but not compared to other horror games.
Yeah. The only game I would suggest above this for little kids, if you wanted to be like, hey, it's Scaretober, so we're going to scare everybody. I'm not really scared to say Halloween, but I think it's more clever and fun to say Scaretober or whatever. I want to say Spooktober earlier. Anyway, I'm rambling already. I think the only game that I would play with littler kids than this one would be, like, if you have tiny kids, play King of Tokyo with them. That's fun. It's a monster movie game. But I'm going to build on what Luke said. I think he made some really good points, and I would like to go from there with that. The art on this is really, really not good. But this is a Flying Frog game, and they're notorious for their unique art. They basically use actors done up to put on their cards and stuff. And I guess it's probably a good way to, like, if you don't have an artist around to draw for you, it's probably a good way to do it. But it just ends up looking really goofy sometimes. So it's like, I am the vampire with the overly sharp teeth, and I am the militiaman who has a very pointy hat. I don't know. It's just kind of fun to, like, poke fun at the art a little bit while you play too. And even if you're a huge fan of this game or Flying Frog games, I don't think you can defend the art. I mean, like, Last Night on Earth is their most well-known game, and it's got pretty horrendous art too. Just, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we MST 3K these. So Luke gets to play as Tom Servo and I'm Crow, even though my name's Joel, and I should probably be Joel. Anyway, that was a really awesome reference for one person who gets that reference in this video. Everyone else, sorry. I'm really distracted today, aren't I?
Yeah.
That's kind of a theme. I should get some Ritalin. Okay, so I'm going to get serious now and talk about this game for 3 minutes, and then we'll be done. The fun factor, it's a really fun game. It's stupid fun that is just, it's not intense, but you get to play out a monster movie or something almost. And it's not super heavy and deep where you're like brain burnt the whole time. You just go out and have a little fun. And like you said, RPG light. You play as a character. You get items for your character. You buff your character up. Make him tough. And then you go kick Dracula's butt. Or you find the Headless Horseman and take him out too. I don't know. It's really fun though to just take on the identity or the role of this colonial era type. I mean, probably a little after colonial era, but take on these characters and just go fight and play. A lot of fun. And the components on it, I already made fun of the art pretty bad. I will say this about the game too. The cards are nice and thick. They're on really good thick cardstock and they're glossy, and I like how glossy they are. They feel good in your hands. The chits are awesome. They're super glossy, beautiful, nice chits. The board's okay. But the thing that this has going on, that Last Night on Earth has going on as well, is that glossy stuff, when you go to shuffle, it's like, and you can't get them to like shuffle very well. It's just sticky. So, and then like if your game sets for a few months, which we don't play Touch of Evil except for around Halloween time, it's like you have a brick of cards and you have to like pry them apart. I don't know. The glossiness on them like just doesn't work out very well if you live in a humid climate at all. So that's what I think about components. I mean, they're really good components, but they do stick to each other. And there's a lot inside this box, so it's somewhat tough to pack it all up in there. As far as family goes, I think what Luke tried to say, and he said it fairly well, is that this is not a little kid game because there is like gory stuff and whatever in it. And Luke's 9. Luke plays it and isn't too freaked out. I mean, like, there's sometimes he's like, whoa, look at that. I wouldn't play it with a 7-year-old probably. I wouldn't play it with anything below 7. But 8, 9, I think you'd probably be okay, depending on your kid. I mean, some of you guys let your kids watch Saw at 3, and that's your thing, I guess. But, I mean, like, for me and my family, which is totally different than your family, we let Luke play this, and he's 9, and it didn't freak him out. So, you aren't going to have nightmares from this game or anything, are you?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the artworks, I'm like, okay, that's a little bit creepy, but I can get over it.
Yeah. And I think the reason why I would say this one's okay, if you compare it to Arkham Horror is really a more grandiose version of this game. And that game plays in 6 hours, where this game plays for like in an hour, maybe an hour and a half. 6 hours is a little bit of an exaggeration, but Arkham Horror is a much more grand version of this that takes place in the 1920s or so. This is like similar mechanics, similar. You get clues in that game, you get investigations in this one, and there's no money in this one. They kind of combine it in with the investigations, and it's like their take on Arkham Horror almost is what this game is. And it's much more compact, plays a little quicker, and it's silly. It's goofy, silly, whatever, compared to Arkham Horror. Has much deeper characters, and it's a much more immersive game than this one. So, if you're playing with gamers and just want to have an intense horror game type thing, Arkham Horror would be an excellent way to go. But this one's like fluffier and lighter, and a little better, I think, for playing with like your kids. The other one too that gets mentioned a lot when you talk about horror games is A Touch of Evil. No, that's the one we're talking about right now. The one that gets mentioned a lot is Betrayal at the House on the Hill, or Betrayal, the House on the Hill. I always get the title of that game mixed up. I have it on my shelf behind me. It's a game worth owning too. It's cool. It has a modular board, and he plays out differently every time. But that one's pretty intense too at times, because, I don't know, it's just a little intense. Like, it's silly, but there's like a blood chamber and stuff like that Luke's not really ready for yet, and that would give him nightmares probably. So this is a B movie that you would watch on the public access channel at 2:30 in the afternoon on a Saturday, the week of Halloween. Like, that's what this game is, and I'm talking about Touch of Evil again. And it's just silly, goofy fun, and it's pretty fun. Overall, I think it's pretty cool. I give it a 7. And I give those other games maybe a little higher rating, but I would never play them with Luke. What do you think of it?
Overall, I'm gonna give it an 8.5, maybe, just because.
You like this game?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like the RPG feel.
I didn't think you liked it that much. That's cool that you like it that much, I guess. Maybe we'll play it more often.
Yeah, but also I think the art is just kind of fun and goofy.
Yeah, to just make fun of.
Yeah.
So at any rate, that is that for A Touch of Evil. I don't really have anything else to say about it, do you?
No.
Yeah. We didn't cover this game very thoroughly at all, but hopefully you get a feel for it. It's a little older game, so, I mean, there's a lot of copies out there for trade or whatever, so you can get it really inexpensively, too. Pretty fun, though. And worth having as your, we're going to have a Halloween party and be goofy or whatever, game, maybe. And it's fun with a lot of people. Oh, I will say this. this is my one criticism of the game. And I talked about this earlier with Luke, off camera. When you play with 2 players, it's pretty hard. But when you play with 4 players, it's really easy. So that's because things don't scale very well in this game. At least I might be missing something in the rule book. But it seems like the villain and everything plays the exact same with 4 characters as it does with 2. And if you're playing the cooperative mode, which I didn't even touch on, there's a cooperative mode and then like kind of a competitive mode where you like are racing to fight the bad guy versus working together to fight the bad guy. But man, I wish I would have covered that a little better. I will right now. You can play it where you either are racing to fight the bad guy and the first person to kill him wins the game, or you can play where you're just trying to beat the bad guy. And the cooperative game is pretty easy. The competitive game, tougher. But at any rate, the game doesn't scale on the cooperative side very well. Like on Sentinels of the Multiverse, they have you do like, this attack does H-1 wounds, where H is the number of players in the game, which makes a lot of sense because there's only 2 people attacking the bad guys, so they should be like a little weaker. And if you have 6 guys attacking the bad guy, then it should be a little stronger. But in this game, it's just always like, do this many die wounds to yourself. So you're going to have more encounters with bad guys probably because you draw the same number of event cards or mystery cards, but you're not going to be as powerful because you're attacking as often, and well, you're attacking it more often because there's the same number of bad guys out there and only 2 people to take them out. So that's one little criticism of it, but I'm sure there's a home rule for that you could use to fix it, or I'm missing something maybe even. So that's it. It wouldn't be a Dad, Son, and Game review without a weird tangible run-on sentence. So there it was, the little add-on at the end. Do you have anything else to say now?
No.
And I don't either. And you can be thankful. All right, thanks for watching. Again, I think this is number 20 video.
Wow.
Maybe not episode 20 because we have a couple of repeats in there and a little weird things in there, but our 20th video. And I think we're probably going to break 100 subscribers this week, if I had to guess. So we will be putting out a bonus video fairly soon where Luke and I do our top 10 games. And it'll be the most bizarre top 10 list ever because our gaming interests are a little weird and we haven't played some of the games that other people have that they have in their top 3 or whatever. So Luke's will definitely be interesting. Anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, I hope the credits are rolling by now and the music's playing because we are going